Hi, Frankie.
How are you?
Hi,
Good.
Frankie.
I was just telling you, I'm so excited to have you on. I just watched your entire life and you're like, calm down. I was 25 years old. And I'm like, okay, but I was because I didn't realize that you were on every single season. And I think it's
Yeah.
because I stopped back in the day watching towards the end.
I
So
wish I would have stopped filming toward the end.
yeah. So we just have so many questions. Once we did that interview with Tracy, a bunch of our listeners started doing a rewatch too. So they have so many questions as well. And I mean, you saw that we did an interview with Tracy. Were you surprised that people are still like invested in the show?
I am because I really, it was such a long time ago, so I really didn't think it would people even still talking about it. I mean, occasionally, like people ask me, "Aren't you from?" And I'll say no.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I swear to God, well, and no, yeah, you got the wrong guy, whatever. But yeah, I was shocked that so many people are still entrenched in that ridiculous thing we
Well,
did.
I was wondering, I was like, do people still recognize you till this day?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
like it's you'll see people look like they're not sure. Sometimes they'll come up, they'll ask, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll lie. I'm like, no, it's not like that. That's
Oh
the
my
one.
gosh.
That's the
That
wrong
is
guy.
so funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
update us like where you are with your life today, like from where you were in the show.
Oh God. Uh, yeah, I'm single. I'm just doing what I have to do. I'm just working a lot. Work,
yeah.
family, friends, just day at a time.
Yeah.
Are you in the same career?
No, I work for the city of New York.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
nice.
there 10 years. 10 years, 11 years, 10 years.
Dang.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
gosh.
do it.
So
Mhm.
do you have to go there every day?
Every day, traveling to the city. 4 o'clock
Wow.
in the morning. It's fun.
That that sounds miserable.
It is.
But you guys are used to that stuff. So I guess for you it's a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I kind of want to start from the beginning because I am just so interested in like everything that you went through. So you came on the show, you're dating Gigi.
Mhm.
Uh, prior to coming on the show, how long were you and Gigi dating for?
2 years, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a couple of years. Yeah, 2 years.
How did you guys get like approached to be on the show?
She got approached. She was still in beauty school.
Okay.
And one day she called me, I think it was MySpace. That's how long ago it was. She was like,
Uh,
listen, they're putting out this thing about this reality show. They want to do casting calls in the city. I'm like, you're not going there by yourself. I'm going to go down with my friend. I'm like, no, you're not. Like,
right.
you don't know these people. Like, I said, I'll take you. So I take her down to the city and she goes in. She's like, I should be in and out. Well, after 2.5 hours and a pack of cigarettes at the time, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I walked in and I'm like, what is going on? And she did what she had to do. And I guess they saw me and they saw me pissed. And for some reason they liked it.
Oh my God.
And yeah, that's how that all happened. That's how it all started.
How did they pitch it though? Did they pitch it as a reality show?
They didn't really say much.
Okay.
They were just like, we're thinking about doing a show. It takes place in Jersey and whatever, which neither of us have ever lived.
Oh,
And, you have to, it's about their lives and people that work there and et cetera. And I'm like, and I told my ex, I'm like, what does this have to do with me? She's like, well, you're my boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, but I don't, And
yeah.
that's how that went on.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is crazy, actually. And like
Was
they
it-
probably definitely wanted her because they saw you and they saw that there's something probably there.
Well, we were funny, we were comical because, we would just go at it constantly. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they
So
liked us.
you guys didn't know anyone before? Like you didn't know
No,
Tracy? You didn't
no,
know of them either?
nothing. We
Oh
didn't
my
live in the same state. We didn't live in the same state. I didn't know them. I didn't know any of them.
Lorenzo?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
So
Wow.
crazy.
That
None of
is
them.
insane. And now I want to go back and watch and see if they introduced it like you guys knew them. Did
No,
they?
no, the first person that I met, actually, it's funny you mentioned Lorenzo, was Lorenzo and Olivia. Me
Okay.
and me and G had to go into the city again to meet the director, I believe. I don't know, one
Yeah.
of them, and they were there at the same time. And
Wow.
we still had no idea what we were doing. We were doing an interview, I guess, for the production company, if I remember the right
Right.
way. And then we shot. They called it a pilot for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and then we started filming.
Was your relationship with Gigi good before joining the show?
We definitely got along a lot better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you think, I mean, you were so young. Did you think like this was someone who was going to be the one?
I mean, I don't think either of us were really thinking about that. I mean, we were serious, but I mean, how serious are you at I mean, I started going out with G when I was 20 years old. I mean, we were
Right.
kids,
Yeah.
you know.
But I feel like in the Italian culture, and it's like same with our culture, is that you do get married young sometimes. So it's not that
Oh, yeah.
crazy to like think like at 25 maybe we would get married.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that. I mean, I'm sure at some point we spoke about it back then, but I mean, it wasn't in the plans and that, you
Yeah.
know, at that time,
What did your friends think of you joining the show?
they called me an idiot.
Yeah, like were they like counting on you?
My friends were like, "You seriously gonna do this?" I'm like, I don't know. Should I? They're like, no,
Yeah.
no. But they liked the attention after that we were getting. We were out in the clubs and the bars and everywhere else. Then they liked it. You know.
Exactly.
Well, when they saw you actually, so you agreed to it, you're on the show. They like, I'm sure they're all watching it. Were they like dying? Or because like, I mean, how much of it was real, how much of it wasn't, we don't know. But were they like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, they said that's. You know how many times that we filmed and they were there?
Oh, really? Oh
They'd be in the house. They'd be upstairs listening and pissing themselves laughing
my gosh, I'm
because
dying.
they would say this is such bullshit. You don't. Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Now you know what I go through.
Wow. Yeah, because you constantly filmed at your house, like having dinner and stuff. So
But
they were there like hanging out.
yeah, they'd either if it was summertime, they'd be in the yard and have the window open. They'd be listening, or they'd
God.
be upstairs or in the basement or in the next room or wherever.
Wow.
But at the time, like let's say like if someone like us came up to you and we're like, oh, is it real or fake? Like, would you always tell them it's real?
I would have danced around the question
Okay.
because it
Yeah.
was hard. You didn't want to expose the show. You didn't want
Yeah.
to make people look a certain way, But at the same time, they made us. Well, I'll just say it. Me and Tracy mostly made us look terrible. We
Yeah.
played the villain, and I think I could speak for her on this too. We got to a point that you're gonna pay this out to be a villain. We're gonna give you a good goddamn show now.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. So, I mean, Tracy, speaking of Tracy, so she came on the show. She basically revealed that everything on the show was fake. So, is this something you can confirm?
absolutely, absolutely,
What was fake?
all of it. I mean, I really, I don't. It got to the point that I couldn't even tell what was real and what was fake anymore because it was all just such bullshit. To be honest with you.
Wow.
And what really bothered me the most was especially how they portrayed my family and I.
Yeah.
Where there's a phrase that Italians use. It's called gavone, and that's
Okay.
exact. It means like extra,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's. Look, my house is not the Brady Bunch. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
that was not my. You would never hear my father yelling, "I want to eat." If you noticed,
Oh, yeah.
certain times, like you would hear him say that. They'd have a picture of the outside of the house
Yeah.
because he only said it one time, and they kept replaying it.
Oh,
That is
So they kept.
crazy.
Yeah, this is the shit that they would do. And if you noticed at that dinner table, they would look miserable. My mother, my father, myself, my brother, because they'd want us to act a certain way. And like, but I'm not, that's not us.
yeah.
That's not us. And we pretty much have to sit there until we did it the way we, got to a point that's like, let's just do it and get it over with so we can go
Yeah.
to the house. I mean,
Were your
We've heard
parents
that
paid?
before.
huh?
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Roxanne.
I was going to say, were your parents getting paid?
Yeah, not much though.
Okay. And you were getting paid 3,000.
No, I wasn't. I was getting less than that.
No,
Oh,
I think Tracy said it was the three girls that were getting paid
Yeah.
that, like her,
Yeah.
Olivia, and then
Jay,
yeah,
Tracy, Olivia, and Jay were getting 3,000.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
We didn't make. Everybody thought we made all kinds of money. No, it was gas and cigarette money. Like that. Honestly, it was money we used to go out and party on. That's what it was. It wasn't.
Was that your motivation, like to keep going season after season, or like you're like, I'm just gonna stick
Oh
it through with everyone? Like, what was your motivation at that point?
no, I tried to quit the show 2, 3 times. They wouldn't allow me.
Wow,
I
contract? Were you on a
yeah.
contract?
That's exactly why I couldn't stop. They would threaten him with lawyers, and I'm like, yo, I got lawyers too. And my
Yeah,
mother was getting nervous, and she was like, Frankie, like, I'm like, Ma, I don't want to do this, especially after, me and G broke up, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't really have a place here anymore. Like, I don't need this, to be
yeah,
honest with you. And it just kept going from there. But I tried several times. I got to the point that I stopped filming. I refused to film, and they showed up to my house.
Wow.
And I went nuts because I think I was in the barber or I was wherever I was, and my father called me and he was like, "You're not gonna believe this. What's the matter?" He's like, "The production crew's here." I said, "What?" I said, "Stay there. Don't move." He's like, "Frank, you don't do nothing." I said, "Right there, no problem." And I
Wow.
pulled up like a maniac. I said, "You come to my house?" Whoa, you're doing, you're breaching contract. I said, I don't give a fuck what I'm breaching. Like,
Right.
stop. Like,
Well, why do you think
this is
they
only
wanted
nicotine, by the way. It's not pot. I'll get more.
Okay. Why do you think they still wanted you when you and Gigi? Because like I am watching, and it wasn't necessary, not because of anything. Well, you came in as Gigi's boyfriend, so it wasn't
Right.
necessary to keep you on the show.
I
So
agree.
why do you think they kept you? Because your family? I mean, I was invested in your family, so I get that.
That's probably mostly what it was. Our dynamic. I think that we gave the family aspect of the show that they were looking for, which again, yes, of course we're a family. That's not how we acted. That's not my dinner table. I mean, of course it's my dinner table. But that's not how we acted. Again,
I thought it was hilarious though.
I mean, yeah, certain parts of it was funny. There was certain times that it was kind of us, but they just made us go over and above than what we usually would have done at dinner.
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting there like that. That's for sure.
And
Yeah.
we've heard from like even the Real Housewives where they're like sitting at a dinner table and like they'll approach them and say, "This is boring. Let's go. Let's do something." And then it gets to a point where they're so frustrated that they end up doing something just to please them.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
That's
and it's kind of
exactly what
crazy
it
that you
was.
guys had that same like experience, just because it really is like I would be like that too. Like just get out of my house.
They got thrown out of the house plenty of times.
Wow.
My father threw them out plenty of times. Get your
Oh my
shit
God.
and get the fuck out.
How did your parents agree to do this to begin with? Especially
My
your
father,
dad.
he wanted no part of it. Like
Yeah.
at all. When
You
this
could
all
tell.
started happening, I went to him. I'm like, listen, Dad, they want to do this, they want to do that. He's like, Frankie boy, I'm your father. I wish you all the luck in the world, whatever. He goes, I'm not doing it. Keep the cameras
Yeah.
away from me. Keep them away from my house. I want no part of it. And my mother, being the gentle soul that she is, of course, she was harping on him about it. But this is for your son. This is this. And she finally broke him down. He was like, okay, fine. He goes, we're going to keep it to a minimum. If you notice, he looked very uncomfortable.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he did
Oh,
not. It's not our world, is what I'm trying to say. We
Yeah,
never.
for
Who are
sure.
these strangers in my house? Like, what are you doing here? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
There was a scene that he took you to. Wait, are you from Brooklyn or?
I was raised,
Yeah.
born and raised
And
there.
I remember, like, to make you feel better, he took you
Feel
or
better.
something. And so, like,
That
was that?
wasn't even Brooklyn, I might tell you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wait,
That
I'm
is
talking about. I'm trying to remember that because we did do one scene that we rode the motorcycles.
You like you passed by your house and or like you passed by like an area and you were like, it makes me feel like home. And he's like, I'm gonna take you to make you feel
I
better.
don't remember. I mean, it's possible. I don't. I
It was, yeah. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, like I wonder, like I can't see a guy like you putting your feelings out there. Maybe you do, where like you're so affected that you're like having your dad take you back to where you were from,
No, I wasn't traumatized.
Yeah.
No, God.
Yeah. So how are your parents doing now?
They're great, thank God. They're
Yeah.
great. My mother's retired. She just, does her thing. My father, he's a business owner in the area, so he's still working. My brother, everybody's good, thank God.
Is
They're
your
still
brother married?
No,
Okay. These
So
are two single men.
yeah, is your mom
no, he's not single. He's got a girlfriend. But
Okay.
okay?
yeah.
Is your mom like dying for you guys to get married?
Yeah, I mean, she wants to see, especially maybe because I'm 37. She wants to see me settled, and you know, like every mother, they want to see their son. And she wants her grandchildren.
Right.
Listen, getting to that age, it is what it is. But I'm not going to force things. I wasted
Right.
a lot of years doing
Yeah.
that.
Did your
She's
mom really love Gigi as much as it was portrayed on the show?
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
My mother did love Jay very much.
Okay.
She did. No, really, she did.
yeah. Well, there was like a scene where she's looking at Gigi and she's crying, and
Oh, real.
but then it kind of looked like Gigi was like laughing
She
back.
would laugh and cry.
What was it?
She would laugh and cry, Jay. If she got
Yeah.
nervous, she would laugh. But yeah,
Okay.
they were. I gotta say, they were very close. Close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
That's
was
really cute then.
yeah. I mean, your mom seems so sweet.
Yes, she is.
So
My
I mean,
mother's 1 in a million, that's for sure. Not because she's my mother and whatever. My mother's 1 in a million. She really is.
I will say, like watching the show, like those scenes with your family, though, obviously the executives knew what they were doing because I loved watching those scenes with your family. We didn't see any other families. We just saw yours.
I know. I think that's why they wouldn't let us go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we would not film. They showed up several times. I still have, if I dig, I still have emails, them emailing me, please, you got to do this. I'll send them to you. Please, you got to do this for us and blah, blah, blah. I got off social media because I couldn't take it anymore. Like,
Wow.
Were they
well,
because Tracy made it seem like Tracy was like they were following us, like if they knew I was somewhere else, was like were
that's
they like
right.
always on you too? Like
They were
we're
on us no matter what we did. And when I noticed they did a lot was, if you will never see a picture of me hanging out with the cast outside of filming. I didn't hang out with them outside. I didn't. What I noticed they were doing was, if the three of us were on the show and we became friends and we were hanging out, we were going out. Once that film crew found out, they would write a storyline that we would be killing each other at some point.
Oh my gosh.
I saw it. I see what you're doing. So I stood away. I went back to New York and had my own fun. But they were really screwed up. And how they portrayed Tracy especially was disgusting.
yeah.
She is not that. She's not. I mean, never to me anyway. She's not that at all.
Well, so what were your thoughts on Gigi turning on Tracy the way that she did?
I don't know the ins and outs of that. I do remember I wasn't with her at that point, don't forget.
I know, yeah.
So I do remember hearing that the production company was breaking G's chops to say certain things and do certain things. To what extent, I don't know. I don't know G as that. You know what I mean? You got to understand, I was with her when I was a kid, and that was years later too. And, I mean, of course, we saw each other, we were friendly, how are you? But I didn't know the ins and outs of all that.
Well, Gigi was very different. Like season 1, I loved Gigi. And then season 2 comes to season 3. Like she's entirely different. Did you, at the time, I think you were still dating her, or I don't know if that was real, but did you notice how different I felt like, the first season she was like more confident. And even though maybe she felt like she looked better, I felt like she had no confidence at all by season 3, and she was a different person.
Girls, what if I was to tell you that
Yeah.
I was not dating G? Season 2, we broke up.
Wow.
Okay.
Wait, season 2 was the proposal.
There was no proposal. Let me tell you something. When all that happened, matter of fact, it was you seen the reunion of season 2?
Yeah.
We weren't even together. We weren't even talking.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You see that ring that they made me have and walk around with like a freaking idiot?
Yeah.
That was so awkward.
So what happened was they were pushing that engagement train big time, right? So this is like right before her and I started to break up, if I'm remembering the right way. And they said, listen, if you do this, we'll pay for the wedding, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that. And I'll never forget, Jay, she cracked me up. She goes, yeah, you're gonna pay for the divorce too?
Yeah.
I swear to God. And they were like, no, but you do it for this. And so we weren't even talking for that reunion show, like at all. I remember it was really bad between her and I. And when they called me and told me, you got to go in there with the ring and whatever, I reached out to her and I said, listen, I don't want you to get blindsided by this, but this is what's going on. She's like, no. And we did do that for each other quite a few times.
Yeah.
Because look, at the end of the day, we were, we knew each other before all of this.
Yeah.
We were like, we're the only ones coming out of New York. Like, we're the outsiders here.
Yeah.
Right.
And you guys actually had a relationship.
Right. So we tried to the best that we could have in the positions that we were in at the time to kind of try and look out for each other as much as we could. But yeah, that was all bullshit. All of it.
You never try to propose 3 different times.
Oh, no. We weren't even together. I remember. Oh my God.
That's so awkward to like even have to do that, like for the show when they're not even dating.
And they try to make Gigi say she doesn't want to get engaged, and you were trying and she just didn't want to get engaged.
It was comical how fake it was. It was like literally like I remember one Sunday it came on. Me and my parents were sitting in the living room watching it, and my father gets up. He goes, "Do people actually believe this shit?"
Right.
And I said, "Yeah, yeah."
Well, what's everyone in town like? You have family watching this. You have I'm sure cousins, friends.
Yeah.
Everyone's seeing this. Or do they at this point think it's real? Like you really?
No, they got a kick out of it just for seeing us on TV. You know what I mean? But they knew what was real and what wasn't real. Anybody that was around us, even people like where we lived, they knew what was real and what wasn't real because they're not even together. I just saw Frankie with so-and-so last week. I just saw G with so-and-so last week. We weren't even together. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was doing my thing, she was doing hers. So everybody knew here what was going on, but the rest of the world didn't.
Yeah,
Wow.
can you imagine if there was social media now and like the Twitter and the Instagram, the TikToks, and
Well, no,
you guys would get exposed in 2 seconds.
when in 2000, I believe in 2012 is when I had Instagram the first time,
Okay.
and that's we were filming or whatever. And when I tell you the direct messages I used to get, and this is years after her and I broke up, the DMs that I would get, you're terrible. What kind of human being are you?
Oh my
What
gosh.
are you? Like what?
Well, did the show put pressure on your guys' relationship?
There, it didn't help it. It definitely didn't help it. I don't think we would have, I don't think we still would have been together today. But it definitely didn't help our situation. No.
Why did you guys break up? Like actually, season 1, basically, you guys broke up, and that
No. See, we were back and forth. So we got at the
okay.
end of season 2, we stopped filming. We got back together. We went to season 3, and a few different things happened that I'm not going to air out because it just doesn't pay to talk about. But whatever went on went on. But then we were still cool. I would see her, what's up, how are you? That was it. But we haven't legitimately been together since like 2010.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Mhm.
so crazy.
Mhm.
Behind the scenes, by the way, were you Team Tracy or Team Olivia?
I never liked Olivia.
Oh.
Why didn't you like Olivia?
I just didn't like her attitude. I thought she was a nasty human being, I'll say. But
Well, so then
and I'll be honest with you, I heard she had a lot to say about me for whatever reason. And
okay.
I just whatever. I
How
never
about
listened.
how about like season 5 when they had you guys like at the same bar together?
Which was more uncomfortable because I told the production company, I'm like, I don't want to film with her.
Yeah.
So please, you got see what they were slick. See, let me tell you something. Those producers, if anytime we did a bar scene, a club scene, whatever scene we did, they would get us well liquored up before we
Yeah.
filmed. Well liquored up.
Uh,
I remember being blasted doing certain scenes. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this right now. Can we wait? No,
wow.
no. They put us in any vulnerable situation they could have done.
Yeah, I feel like this production company is crazy. Whoever did this show, like they
Oh,
were
who
They
is
were wild.
are
They were wild. Let me tell you something. I don't know how they got away with half the shit they did.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like legal what they did.
No, I mean, listen, it'll be our word versus theirs, but they never they didn't protect any of us. The girls more than anybody. They gave those girls no protection whatsoever. How many times did they put Tracy in a position that she had to throw hands? What if she would have hurt somebody?
Yeah.
They didn't ever tell Tracy to actually like throw hands?
No, but listen,
How much can
she's a
you
sweet girl, but you
Mhm.
keep pushing a person, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Anybody, you keep poking a dog, you get bit. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, but it seemed like producers really were obsessed with Olivia. Like it was always about Olivia. Even just finishing off season 5 reunion, they're like, "Well, what's next for you, Olivia?" Like the show was centered on Olivia. Why? I don't get that. I mean, I
Because
girl, but
she played to every one of their demands. She
okay.
didn't go against the grain at all, and the rest of us did. From
Wow.
what I was told, anyway. I don't know that for certain, but it's the only thing that makes sense.
She was like the favorite.
Pretty
I,
much because do this, do that. Okay.
I feel like she was favored though. So of
Yeah.
course she's gonna
But
do
it was because they portrayed her as America's sweetheart. So like you
yeah.
always are gonna like the nice one compared
Mhm.
to he's like laughing compared to the evil one.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The certain cast members on that show, the last ones that you would ever think would be the terrible people are.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Believe
can
me.
see that.
Believe me.
Why did Lorenzo stop filming? Like whatever happened to him?
Um, I think he just kind of faded off because I don't think he had a storyline anymore.
Yeah, I could
We never really got into it. And I just spoke to him an hour ago. We're actually supposed to go out tonight, believe it or not. But I think he kind of just he didn't have much of a storyline anymore, so they just let it go.
yeah. I could see that. So if the show was so fake, can we talk the reunion? Did they tell you guys what to say, what to do? I don't understand the reunion.
So what they'll do is they'll sum up the entire season, obviously, in that one horrendous sit down, and you have to. You gotta almost stay. So let's say season 1, episode 1, Frankie and G got into an argument over who didn't pass the salt the right way. You got to go back there mentally and remember and try and play it out. Like it sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not real. So like, how are you gonna remember
Nah,
things
it's
that are
not
not
real.
real?
No, it's not real at all.
Would they like stop you guys and say, "Oh, say this instead" at the reunions?
They have, or they'll go up and they'll whisper in whoever's ear, make sure you say it this way, make sure you do it that. But they won't do it in front of everybody because they don't
Yeah.
want the other person to be prepared.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like
because
that.
some of the conversations, like when I was watching the show, it was like I was like, how do they know what like it could be like the one episode I was watching was like Gigi and Olivia and them were all single and they were all gonna go out to like speed dating. It was like Tracy and Gigi and it was like the blonde girl and like all their comebacks were just so good. And I'm like, wait, how do they know to say these things if it was like if that was them or not? It was just
I
weird.
doubt it. I doubt it was them.
Yeah.
It could have been half and half. I don't know, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I skipped this question, but so there was a scene where Gigi's like to your mom, I don't want to talk about Frankie anymore. Like, stop talking about him. And your mom looked shook. Was that real? Because that was so scary.
I don't even remember it. No, that's not. I don't even remember that.
I was like, okay, because I was like, that's so, oh my gosh, I can't believe
I don't even remember. I mean, I have no
how
idea.
did they purposely like get your mom to go to things that Gigi was gonna be at?
No, so what had happened was after the only thing I can remember of them ever meeting up after we broke up was years later when I was dating Brooklyn, which by the way isn't her real name either.
Oh
And
my god.
I'll wait until I get into that. So G was making it as if that she had made a mistake and she wanted to go back to me at some point or whatever it was. And my mother looked at her like, what? Like that's the only time that I can remember.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other scene like that. I could be mistaken. It was 100
Did
years ago.
you really move in with Gigi?
No, that wasn't her apartment either. That was the production company. They set the girls up
Yeah,
I think it was Union, New Jersey, where the hell they were. And they all lived there.
Yeah.
I never
Wow.
moved in with her. I wasn't even with her
Oh
at
my
that point.
gosh. What
I
was
had another girlfriend at that point.
That's
Oh my God.
crazy.
And what
Yeah.
was your girlfriend thinking?
You have no idea what I went through.
Yeah.
Oh, we can imagine because
If
I would
you
not
were-
allow that.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
What well, okay, so there's also a scene in the reunion where Vivica Fox, she was the person who did the
She
reunion.
hosted it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so random. And she starts crying about yours and Gigi's relationship. Did she know the show was fake?
I think that she's a very incredible actress, which is why she was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Did
so
she-
crazy.
She does motion pictures. I mean, she was in Independence Day, for Christ's sakes. I mean, she could make herself cry on cue like that. Give me a break.
Wow. I thought she was like really invested in your relationship and she was really sad about it. But I was like, she has to know this show's fake.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. I mean, we didn't know, but I'm sure she knew.
Yeah, that's so. And then why did you guys get like a new person to interview or to do a reunion? Do you know?
Well, we weren't in charge of that.
Okay.
The production company did.
It was like
whatever.
Vivica for a couple seasons, then this like random girl did it. One of
And
the
she was annoying. She
Yeah.
was I don't even know. I don't even remember her name, but she was the most irritating human being on two legs. She kept asking me the same question. How many times I told her, could you go to next? Because I wasn't answering. And I had to keep stopping. Yeah, it was, please. I didn't have, I'd be honest with you. I wasn't nice to them toward the end.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit because they're like, oh, you act like you don't care. I said, I'm not acting. I don't care.
And you
I don't want to be here.
At that point, like, how can you blame yourself? Because even if you gave them what they wanted, they're going to still ask for more. So
No
like,
matter what.
so like they were just going to keep going until
They chopped that show up a lot. They chopped up a lot of scenes as far as like, if we did one big scene, they would literally cut up what they wanted and condense and make you look ridiculous. They've done it to me several times, and I called like a lunatic one day. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, they did." They did it a few times, quite a few times.
Were you friends with any of the producers?
No, I didn't like any of them.
Wow.
I knew what they were as soon as I met them, and I didn't. That's why I stood away. And I gave them a hard time from day one. I won't lie to you. I shouldn't say that. The first season, second season, I was a little more easier with them. But as I saw what they were doing, how they would handle things, the positions they'd put people in, the shit that they would do, it's very hard for me to be fake. So even when I was, maybe it was written all over my face. You've seen my face in scenes that I was disgusted. I couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah. No, I could see that with you and your dad.
Yeah,
So,
we have. There's no hiding it.
but there was no way you could have like left. They were threatening like legal with you.
Yeah, they tried to sue, and then it was my fault too. I was the only one they did this to. They would promise you with the spin-off that you'll be on your own. There'll be a lot more money made, and etc. So you fall into that. Just give them what they want. Just give them what they want. But which obviously was all bullshit.
Because they even promised Tracy a spinoff with like her husband.
They promised Olivia. They promised so many. They promised. I think they promised Gail too at one point. I don't know. They promised everybody. The guy in the store, whoever they could have promised something to, they did.
Right. You know when that scene where you're at the club with Olivia, was Gigi mad at that, or did she understand like this is like part of the show now?
I don't know. Me and G weren't speaking at that point.
You guys, wow, so you guys were not even talking.
No, I was actually just starting to date.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, that's her name.
Brooklyn.
Her real name is Michelle.
Why was there a different name?
Well,
yeah, that's so weird.
I'm gonna hate myself for this. When I met her, it was a random night, and she introduced herself as Brooklyn to me.
Okay.
Which clearly was a lie. So like 2 weeks into dating with her or whatever, she invites me over and she's like, listen, my family calls me Michelle. I'm like, well, why the fuck would they do that if your name is Brooklyn, right? And she goes, no, I only tell people that. Long story short, all I'll say is that individual, there are no words for.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. She's somebody's daughter. She's somebody's mother. She's somebody's wife now. So but there are no words for that individual.
But you really dated her.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I really dated her.
I mean,
that engagement was bullshit.
Yeah.
That engagement I was engaged for real one time, years after the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened? Like, wait, that's nothing to do with the show.
You're a therapist now.
I mean, I'll answer it. I don't give a shit. But no, it just whatever we had just kind of burnt out. And there was a couple of things that went on that I couldn't get over at the time. And I ended up leaving her. And then I went out with somebody else for 3 years, which was another.
Wow.
You have these long relationships.
Like a lot of relationships.
This is the longest I'm single in forever.
So how long have you been single for?
Over a year.
Wow. Yeah. All right, ladies, if you're listening and you're in the
no, please leave me alone.
Area,
slide into the DMs.
I date, I enjoy myself, but I mean, I'm alone, but lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
So someone had found out. So in the interview with Tracy, we find out that Lorenzo and Tracy never actually dated.
Nope.
But Mike and Tracy did. Was Mike like trying to get on the show? I feel bad because like I know he's gone, but was his relationship with Olivia real?
They definitely went out. Yeah, they definitely dated. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of that. I didn't really hang around them much at that point, but they definitely dated. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then were you friends with Filippo? I always say his name wrong. What was that?
Like, no.
Never. Excuse me. Never.
Wow. Nope. Oh my gosh, this is all just like so crazy. And then what was your relationship with like Anthony?
Anthony was always a gentleman to me. He was always really a nice guy and whatever, him and his wife. And I still keep in contact with them. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that. But Anthony was. I never hung out with anybody on the outside of the show other than Lorenzo. Recently, him and I started going out, which is a horrible idea. But
you two out.
Yeah. But it's I never got involved with it because I saw what they did and I just wanted no part of it.
Right.
Not the cast members. I saw what the producers did and I kept my distance. I never hung out with them outside the show.
Do you ever like run into any of the producers or any of your old cast members like ever?
Nope.
Like you don't that'd be so awkward.
Never. Actually, no, I'm lying. I ran into I think they're called PAs. They were assistants of some sort.
Yeah.
I was working. It was probably 6-7 years ago. I was working in the street. And I hear somebody call my name, and I turn around, and it was I believe her name was Angela, if I'm not mistaken. She was walking. She's like, "Oh my God, whatever." But that was the last time. I never see anybody ever again, which I'm fine.
I know. I wonder. I want to know where these people went to work out. Like where they worked after, because there's.
I know a lot of them went to Steve Harvey, from what I was told.
Okay.
I think a lot of them, yeah, because our producers do the Steve Harvey show. If I'm not mistaken.
Are you still friends with Tracy's ex-husband after knowing like everything that he put Tracy through?
I don't know the ins and outs of all that. Me and Corey never had like a phone call conversation. When I saw him on, we were filming, him and I got along or whatever. The last time I saw Corey, was the last episode we filmed, I believe, in Asbury Park. Got ugly.
So the show ends season 6. How many more seasons, because Style Network gets canceled, how many more seasons did you guys think you were going to do?
I knew it was coming to an end, but I just wasn't. We were told, if I'm not mistaken, that they were going to do one more.
Okay.
And then everybody was going to get their spin-offs. Yeah, mine, Tracy's, the guy in the deli, whoever they could have fixed it to,
Wow. How were you guys told that the show was canceled?
They called us on a conference call, all of us, and they were pretty much just like, well, so we came into work today and found out that they sold the network.
Wow.
What does that mean for us?
Right.
We're pitching it, and another network's going to pick it up, etc. We'll get in touch with you. Never heard from him again.
Wow.
That was it.
At what
There
point
was no
did you like move on?
thank you. There was no rap party. There was no.
Oh my God.
There was nothing.
That's disgusting. Like
they used us, and they treated us like straight hookers. Like,
wow.
I'm telling you, they used us, they abused us, and that was it. Look, it was what it was. It was.
Yeah, and then at what point did you like move on after you're like, okay, this is really not happening?
Well, yeah, I mean, at first it was like a little bit. As much as I hated it, it was still like a little bit of a shock. Like,
yeah, it's your life.
I'm used to doing this now.
Right.
When I didn't hear anything for like a month and a half, 2 months, I'm like, all right, well, real life's got to kick back. And
yeah.
Did you guys all like connect with each other and say like, what the hell is happening? Can you believe this?
Nope. I didn't anyway. I don't know if they did.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I kept as much distance as humanly possible.
Wow. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you watch like things like the Jersey Shore or other reality TV, like, do you know when things are fake? Are you like looking at it and like, this is so fake, or was it more your show that was so twisted?
I can't see anybody else's show being as fake as ours.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure that they have to hit certain marks the way we did, but I don't think their shows are as bad. I mean, our show almost wasn't reality. I'm telling you,
it was scripted.
It really was.
You guys were like
that's how I would answer people. I would say, there's no such thing as a reality show. After it was over, I would tell them that.
Wow, that is so crazy. So did you and Gigi, so once season 6 is over, did you ever talk to Gigi? Did you talk to Gigi?
Her and I spoke after the show was ended, and then me and Michelle Brooklyn broke up. We had a conversation. We, kind of put it all on the table or whatever, and we parted as friends. I have no ill will for her at all.
Yeah. Well, I know you got a lot of like hate at times. It sounds like on social media because like maybe you were like for example that therapy session you had with Gigi, like just like stupid stuff like that.
We weren't even together.
Yeah.
She was already dating Carmine when that happened.
And then you are getting crap on social media. But I also think Gigi probably got so much crap because watching back, I'm like, she is so unlikable. Like, I cannot believe how she's acting the last couple of seasons. So was that affecting her too? Because maybe she was being told to say things.
I think what happened to her is what happened to me and Tracy. They wanted her to be the villain. I don't know that for sure. I don't know the ins and outs because, again, we weren't speaking. But it wouldn't be a shock to me if that's the truth. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be because they would have stopped at nothing. Because you got to understand, when you're pissing people off, you're drawing attention.
Right.
They love that.
Yeah.
Right. Because those were the episodes I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, so interesting.
Yeah. They really knew how to portray a person in a bad light. Now, I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened. I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. I don't know. That's like the thing with G and Tracy. I don't know the ins and outs. Something about a wedding, something about a bridesmaid, and that's all I ever heard. I never really wanted to get in. I never really wanted to know.
Did you watch the show when it was like airing?
No.
Wow.
I hated seeing myself on TV.
It's so awkward.
It's
Yeah.
horrible. I was my own worst critic. I ripped myself to shreds every
Yeah.
time.
See, like we always say we wouldn't be able to do it. We would not be
Yeah,
able to do it.
it was bad. I
Wow.
didn't realize how big the show was. I really didn't until one day I'm sitting in traffic. I was actually on my way home from Brooklyn, and I remember I smoked the time. I bent down to smoke to light a cigarette. I look to my right, and on a cab, I see Tracy, Olivia, and Janelle. Hi guys. Like
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! Like this is
Right.
wow. You
No,
know?
people were invested and they still are, especially like after we find out we like did the interview with Tracy. Like people loved that show and it was just a thing at the time, I feel like.
It was, but people really took it to the next level. Like I can't begin to tell you the, the abuse.
Yeah, it's so
I
sad.
mean, I would have letters on my car. I mean,
Wow.
people found out where I lived. People found out where I went to the gym at the time, and there would be letters on my car, letters in my mailbox.
But why? What are they saying to you? Like what was their issue?
I mean, just there's a lot of. There was just a lot of nasty shit, like just a lot of nasty shit. Like, how dare I? Then when I brought Michelle onto the show, it was, how dare you bring another woman on the show? How dare you do this? How dare,
Wow.
you know, pretty much I was a scum of the earth from day one.
Yeah.
You know, and then I couldn't take it no more. And I was thinking about deleting Instagram. And then one night I went to sleep. I got up. I think I had like 12 or 13,000 followers, whatever the hell I had back then. And I woke up to had 1,800. Somebody
Wow.
hacked my Instagram and sat there and deleted one by one by one by one. So that's why I didn't have it for all these years. And then August came around and my friends were breaking my chops. Like, please, 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 just make one, join the world. I'm like, listen, if my old profile, if my old, what do you call it, still there, then I'll do it. Never thinking it would still be there. And this is the original one that I'm on
That's
now.
so crazy.
Wild.
I'm shocked. I was going to ask, so like when the altercations happened, because there was like 3 altercations, I think there were 3. What did like producers do behind the scenes? Because it was no one ever really talked about it after.
What do you mean altercation as far as what?
Like, you know, we saw Olivia and Tracy get into it twice. Gigi and Tracy get into it. And it's like there was never a conversation about it after. And I'm like,
they couldn't say anything about it because the producers were wrong for putting them in that position. They should have never put those girls in that position.
right.
They just shouldn't have done that. Again, what if one of them would have gotten hurt? How many times do you hear about somebody getting into a fight, somebody falling backwards, banging their head and dying? What if that would have happened?
How
Yeah.
about when Tracy got kicked in the head?
Correct.
Like that's,
you know, people get hurt.
I'm
Shit
shocked
happens.
nothing happened. I'm shocked. Like a lawsuit, nothing happened there. You know, it was just,
They would have said, "Oh, we didn't do that. We're just following the storyline." They're protected. They're
They
very
took
protected.
advantage of like you guys at a young age. And
Majorly. We were very foolish. We were definitely very foolish.
So, okay. So thank you for going over all the stuff. We have one last question. Someone said, like, what were the good times that happened, you know,
like,
maybe with the cast? Like, were there funny moments, like any positive things that came out of that show? It's crazy because you didn't maintain relationships after.
I guess the only look. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't cool at first. Like at first, it was a lot of fun, and then it turned into what it turned into. But as far as like, I'm glad I met Lorenzo. I'm glad I met Tracy. You know, they're probably the only 2 outside of Anthony and Patty that I still talk to here and there. But I really never had that much fun on the show to like say, oh, it was great and it was a wonderful experience, because it wasn't. It was an experience, and I am grateful for the experience. But you got to understand, I was portrayed like I was. I want to go back 10, 12 years and punch myself in the face for allowing them to portray me that way.
My last question was gonna be like, if you could go back, would you do it all over again? Like
Under different terms.
On different terms. Okay.
Yeah, not the way we did it at all.
Yeah.
At all. We were 23 years old. That's all we were. We were kids.
Like, if you had a son and he came to you at 23, like, what would you ever allow him to go on a reality TV show?
Not, I guess it would depend on what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I would just see my parents. They didn't know any better really either.
I know.
They thought everything was everything. We all thought that. To be honest. You know, because they came in like our best friends, but They're dirtbags. Every one of them.
Everyone's trying to do their best and what they know. And at the time, like no one knew. Like this
Nobody
is
knew.
Yeah, like no one knew
Nobody
this
nobody
shit
knew what went
happened.
on. And the worst thing that they did to us, like we had to constantly relive. Like if there was a problem, like yeah, me and my ex at the time, Jay, you gotta understand, we lived in the same area. So not only that I would have to go film and relive, then I'd have to come home and relive. So it was just constant.
Wow.
You know, it was not an easy thing to do. And your life was not your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Your life was not your own, not in the least.
Were the club scenes, were those extras, or was that like a legit night at the club?
I think they were extras. They
What?
wouldn't just let anybody in. They would have to because you have to sign a release to show your face on TV.
Right.
So if you guys walked in, you wanted to be an extra, one of the guys or girls are standing at the door, and you got to sign your name stating that no, you could show my face when it is.
Wow. This is all like just so eye-opening. Do you watch reality TV now?
No.
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 You watch TV?
I watch TV, yeah. I'm hooked on Landman and
Landman?
Great show.
Okay.
It's on Paramount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and speaking about it because, again, we were so invested in your life.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
We're really glad to know like what happened behind the scenes. So we appreciate you being honest and open.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate
it.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. All right. You have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.